Hello, you beautiful and amazing beings of the galaxy. This is your nerdy stepdad coming to you today with Intro to Conquest. We will be going all things Conquest here in the early game and what it means in the future for your accounts. Alright, so Conquest, what is it? It is a game mode that comes around once a month where you can eventually, at the higher levels, start to earn shards of the newest Conquest character. I have already chosen my difficulty. It is easy, because you're forced to when you start the game. You have to beat easy before you can unlock medium, and you have to beat medium before you can unlock hard, and there is GP requirements at each level. I know for hard you have to have at least 4 million GP, and each conquest you will go down a row of battles. Different paths are available, and you fight bosses, and you will have in the bosses various feats that you can do to get extra tickets. Now the tickets at the end of the day is what we're going for, because when you get enough tickets you unlock your rewards. After 10 we got this, all the way down to 495 tickets, which will net you all of these items. This is on easy. On hard mode you get a lot more items, and you get shards of the newest character, which right now is the Stranger. The Stranger is going to be a very strong character, and it's going to be all Conquest characters typically are a bit overpowered and really make either lift current teams or make a team that is really good. So Conquest is very important. Your goal after you have 4 million power is to be getting, I believe it's this crate, all three are for 6 months, and then you should unlock the character. You might have to buy a few shards with your tickets, which I will show you how we can do. I'm currently showing you the easy path and what it has on the Nerdy Stepdad account, and in a moment I will go to my cut screen and I will log into my main account that I play with the Bantha Knights to show you what the hard path looks like, just to show you the difference. Also, while you have feats for the bosses, you do have just overall event feats, and they will net you various amounts of tickets. Typically these will be doable by what characters you have. Sometimes you won't. For instance, I don't have any pirates on this account because it's brand new, but if you have pirates, getting profit isn't that difficult. There's cheese videos out there. One I can think of off the top of my head is by Vexatron. If you guys haven't seen him before, it's somebody I highly suggest you go and check out for Conquest videos. I will link his YouTube page down in the description, just so you guys have the ability to look up some of those great videos he produces if you're looking on how to do certain feats in hard. Not necessarily looking to do a lot of late game content, so I want to shoot you guys to content creators that have that information available if that's what you're looking for. Now, a typical battle is super easy. especially early stages. Like later, it'll be a little bit harder. We'll throw in one here real quick just to show what this looks like. And as you can see, there is energy involved. After you do a battle, that energy is going to go down and it returns over time. This stops you from beating the whole thing with just one team, or if you do beat it with one team, you have to do it throughout the whole week that the event is going. So, like later, it's not going to be that easy, but here on the first stage, it is really easy. And then we'll just go back in to show that that energy has dropped. And then over time it will fill back up. So your stamina recovers by 1% in 12 minutes here. I believe it's 15 minutes for one energy. So over time, you'll get the energy back, your team will be full. I basically have two teams going at the moment, a light side and a dark side. That's all I have. I just hit 85 2 days ago, so my account is super fresh. And that's just, you know, kind of how that goes. Alright, now we're going to go back to that cut screen. I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in with my main account so you guys can see more what I'm talking about in terms of the shards and how this game mode progresses. It's just going to be a moment while I log in to that account. I am super excited about the Stranger. I think he's going to be a very good character. One of the stronger ones in a while. The strongest Conquest character, I think, pretty universally accepted, is one of our favorite Siths in Bane. He was supposed to be a sea lifter originally, and is so strong that he just makes his own team. He takes one other Sith with him. When that Sith dies, he gets supercharged and can do a lot of cool things. Alright, we're logging back in here with my main account, the Wilbur Trey account. I do love the new loading screen that they have. It is really good. Alright. So now we'll go into Conquest. This is a hard Conquest. We do have event feats that I've already been working on. You get more tickets. And then here on that last crate, you'll get 90 shards of the Stranger, and you get 30 of whatever the last one was. What's Maz? Kanata. She is a super strong pirate lead. It allows you to break your pirates into two teams, one with GL Hondo and one with her. So basically, right here, with this crate, you can get 150 shards, and then 25 is 75, 150 and 75 is 225, and then you do have the ability to buy shards in each sector at this Jawa for 475 tickets, and that is how free-to-play over time, if you're always buying the shards that you need, starting in Sector 2, it will have the more recent things that are available, which would be Maz. Oh, wrong Jawa. It's not even a Jawa. Well, it has the most recent and the second most recent in that going forward. So that's how you'll get it free to play. One of the better ways to spend money is to actually buy the Conquest Pass. You open up this top run of rewards, and you get a lot more shards as you do so, requiring you to spend less on those tickets. And the feats are a little more difficult the higher you go. The characters, obviously, that you're fighting are going to be a little bit more in-depth. And so that is basically the reward structure. Other things in Conquest that are unique to Conquest is you do have these consumables that you can use in each battle, and it will give you a certain boost. They only last for one battle unless stated otherwise, so you do have to kind of be picky and choosy when you're using these to make sure you're using them to the best effect and with the right teams and in the right situations. The other fun part of Conquest that I have not got into yet is data disc. These data discs give you special abilities throughout the event. It does cost your energy to take them out and put them back in, unless you buy the Conquest Pass, and you can do it for free. The Plus, I believe, you get it for free. Otherwise, it does cost energy. And then these have just a bunch of different effects. I'll just throw them all here really quick. They're not going to be usable because you can only have up to 12 dots going in data, and each thing is its own amount of dots. But you get increased potency, increase your defense, increase your health and protection. This one's a really good one. Weak spot: whenever an ally attacks, they gain 2% offense for every debuff on characters. Booming voice: anytime a leader attacks, the whole team attacks. There's just a bunch of different cool data discs that really I'm not going to save any of that can go in, and there's other ones. You get those by playing through this tier. You'll get here and you'll have options on which one to pick, and then they're added to your collection, and you can either apply them or unapply them, or just keep them unapplied. It's really up to you. And then once you finish all 5 sectors and you eventually finish all your feats that you can do, and sometimes you can't do all the feats, sometimes you can't even do enough to get to that last crate. It just depends on how well developed your roster is. There are, like I said, a lot of other creators that show you different ways to get around some of the feats if you don't have the characters that make it easy, but still doable. And so that is, the community comes together to really help each other try to figure out ways to do these, but sometimes it's just impossible. I know one of the boss fights is to win with Pirate King Hondo. If you don't have Pirate King Hondo, you're just not going to get those tickets. There is more tickets than 630. I don't remember exactly how many there are. I believe Zareth Prevail's channel usually goes through how many you can miss each Conquest run and still get the red crate. And so I'll also leave a link to his page in case you want to go further into that on your own time. But like I said, if you're early game, you're just really focusing on just getting through it just to unlock the next levels. One thing I do want to say, if you can even do the first crate on medium, it's better than doing the full thing on easy. And the same thing with hard. If you can do, it might be the second crate, I don't remember exactly how it works out, but if you can even do just the second crate for sure here on hard, it's going to be more rewards than you'll get in all of medium. And so they really incentivize you to do the hardest one you qualify for, and typically you can get this even if you can't get a lot of feats done just by going through, because every time you beat a node without any member of your team dying, you get 3. And so once you do have some pretty decent teams, and by the time you're at 4 million GP, you're going to have decent teams. You should have a GL. If nothing else, the GL should carry you to that second grade just by beating stuff alone. So definitely worth doing. Now you also get extra ticket, not these tickets, the blue ones, but you get the black tickets. The blue tickets are what you're doing to get all the way through. These black tickets you can buy different things with in the Conquest store. There's different gear and shards that you can buy. Typically though, if you don't have the characters that are currently available in that Jawa scavenger, wrong one again, you want to make sure you're buying those shards. I believe right now I'm buying all of SM33s. I stopped playing for about a month due to some personal issues and just my account kind of getting locked out for a little bit due to switching some phone stuff around, and I just got locked out, and it took a while to regain the account. So I missed his run. Typically, I don't need to buy tickets. I can generally red crate and just get my way to the characters without having to do that. But right now I'm spending everything on him. And typically, if you're free to play, you're going to have to spend your tickets to unlock the newest characters. But once you get to the position where your roster is super well developed and you're able to red crate most of the time, if not all the time, then all of a sudden you're not going to need to be buying character shards with those tickets. And when Conquest is running and you get these Jawas open, you can buy signal data and relic materials with that as well. And so that is really what you're using those tickets for, and sometimes gear. So that is Conquest in a nutshell. It's just a different way to unleash, for CG to unleash is the wrong word, but release, there it is, new characters. And they're typically, like I said, more powerful characters than just the general marquees that come out. Like the Stranger's going to be much stronger than Luke that we're unlocking right now, and Barris and everybody. This Darth Maul character that you can kind of see, he'll probably be on equal footing with the Conquest character, in my opinion. Now, at the end of Conquest, it runs for 2 weeks, not 1 week. That was my mistake. At the end of that 2 weeks, they do run something called Proving Grounds, and that is where if you can beat a team in Proving Grounds, you'll get 20 shards of past Conquest characters. That way you can work on unlocking those past Conquest characters that you missed before you started playing. I don't have the full list off the top of my head. I don't think there's a Conquest tab to see. No, I didn't think there was, but I figured I would look because I don't always look at all of the different ways to filter. And I don't know all the Conquest characters just off the top of my noggin, but I do know like Cat's one, Ben Solo's one, the Razor Crest, but the Razor Crest now you get in the Fleet store. I know Darth Malgus is one. There's a couple ships that are in there for the Leviathan fleet. And so a lot of stuff is really time gated. One, you have to get to 4 million GP, which can take a while when you're starting out. And then you only get once a month the ability to get 20 shards of that, of those Conquest characters. So they're time gated. It's going to take a few years before you'll ever be able to even get those characters unlocked unless you purchase them when they come out with Lightspeed tokens and stuff. So unfortunately, that is just how it is. That is why Leviathan is kind of hard locked for new players. There's not really a way to rush the Leviathan without either spending a lot of money or a lot of crystals, because those Proving Grounds can be refreshed, I believe, And whenever they drop at the end of 2 weeks, I'll do a video on those and just go more in depth on each character. But for now, I just wanted to kind of go over the game mode itself, how it works, you know, the nuances of it in terms of having the data disk, going down the path, choosing the path, fighting the bosses and the feats, as well as what the event feats are, how all that works. And so that is Conquest in a nutshell. Like I said, when you're just starting out, you're going to be in easy. You have to be in easy until you beat it, so it might be 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 months before you beat it. Then you'll move up to medium, because by then you should have the GP to move up to medium by the end of 2 or 3 months. And then you'll be in medium until you get to 4 million GP and beat medium. You should be able to beat medium when you're around 4 million GP without a problem. And then you'll be here in hard with the rest of the community. And you won't be able to go as far as the rest of the community until your roster gets more developed and you get more things unlocked. That is just how it is. Most of the feats and boss stuff is going to be based on newer characters, and so it would not surprise me if in the next Conquest run we'll have Stranger one more time. So December will still be the Stranger, but in January we'll have a whole new Conquest character we're going after with all new feats. It won't surprise me if those feats will include having to use Stormtrooper Luke, the new the new Inquisitor Barisafi, the new Wookiee with Yoda. So just all of those characters are going to be required for feats. Would be my guess. CG changes it up every now and then, but usually that is how the feats work. It is newer-ish characters that are in there, or it's abilities that those newer characters use more than others. Like right now it's pirates, and so they gain profit. There's not a lot of characters that gain profit in the game. Actually, I think only pirates do in Newt Gunray, but Newt Gunray doesn't work because of mechanics. And so you do have to have the pirates to get profit. There's workarounds. Your pirates don't have to be high level. But that is just kind of how it works. So you will be able to still get pretty far if you're keeping up with the current characters as they're being released, and you able to gear them up halfway decently. You'll be able to do most feats with those characters when the new Conquest comes out and rolls around, and eventually you'll be able to start to red crate, and then you'll be getting all the new Conquest characters all the time, and you won't have to worry about the old ones because you'll slowly gain them over time. So that is Conquest 101 in a nutshell. I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. I hope you guys are able to get all the red crates that are available to you, get as far as you can, and get those sweet, sweet rewards. And I want to give a shout out to my Bantha brothers. I hope you all do well in your territory wars and battles, and may the Force be with you.
Where are you going, nerdy?
For a nap.